Can you name one black invention?
I can actually name 3. Twerking, KFC, and being really loud.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Yeah.
Can you do like any better? Like something that was useful to society?
No.
Why is that?
Because that's the only thing I know that was invented by black people, peanut butter. That's it.
Why do you think there's like literally almost nothing else?
I don't know.
Does it have to do with them being black?
Huh?
Does it have to do with them being black? That they're not able to invent as much stuff?
Possibly.
Possibly?
Yeah.
Like, people think life started in Africa, right? And Africa is one of the most resourceful continent. So why couldn't they invent something before the Arabs had to bring them the wheel?
I don't know.
But why are people scared to say that? Like, obviously people have their strengths and weaknesses. Like, we could acknowledge that black people, you know, they sprint the fastest. There's most of the NBA is black. Why can't we say?
Well, it's just like that, for example, like with like physicality aspects, like it just matters on like the genetics, you know? And they usually say because, you know, with slavery, they had like them procreate with the strongest and fast whatever. But it just comes down to like your genetics. I don't know.
Everybody around the world copies African Americans and then yet disrespects them. GPS is a black woman. Well, 3D imaging is a black woman. Laser eye surgery is a black woman. Escalators a black inventor. Elevators a black inventor. The roller coaster, the cell phone, our video games is Jerry Lawson. Mary Van Brighton in 1966, she invented the home security. You're talking about open heart surgery, Daniel Hale, plasma, Charles Drew. We can keep going. Surgical equipment, black people inventing, just constantly inventing, and they took everything and lied. And black people are still thriving. Black women have the highest degrees in America. These are the same women that were operated on with no anesthesia, but they're #1 in academics. Atrocities that African Americans have been through, I'm surprised we are this peaceful.
If you're really going to be a racist, then you should be a true racist and not use anything or be involved with anything that was invented or created by blacks. Do you want a list? The ironing board, the refrigerator, the baby carriage, the shoemaking machines, the traffic signal, the incandescent light bulb, the folding bed, the mailbox, air conditioning, elevator. You want me to go on?
This is a nation that invented the light bulb, the telegraph, the television, the telephone, the computer chip, the smartphone, the GPS, the integrated circuit, and even the internet. Basically, we invented everything.
We? We.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from whatever you are. This is part 2 of everything that they lied about their invention, everything that they took away from black people and made it look like it's theirs. Time heals everything, as the saying goes. And well, it's true, because as time goes by, people are just getting to realize that majority of inventions that were made, they were black inventions. And we are getting to see the lies. We are getting to see everything in real time, because every single thing that black people invented, somehow throughout their whitewashed history, throughout the revisionist history, they managed to turn everything and look like it's theirs, make everything look like they're the ones who started everything. And as you know, brothers and sisters, if you ever felt bad as a black person, you need to watch this video, because there's so many advantages, there's so many great things, there's so many positive things that black people have done that have gone unrecognized. And I really pity those people who are still in the dark. Those people think that white people are semi-gods because they invented things that makes you question. Let me just tell you something. All these things black people invented, even the unimaginable things, things that you cannot imagine, black people made it possible for it to happen. Brothers and sisters, I want us to watch this video. It's an extension of a video that I did that white people, they were so surprised realizing that black people invented almost everything. Yeah, almost everything. Almost everything. That means that's close to everything. But what did white history teach us? It taught us that white people invented everything good. And anything negative or anything bad, it is black people who invented. So brothers and sisters, I want us to watch this video. I'll be back. I'll be sharing my thoughts in regards to this. As you know, I'm your host and presenter Next Stories. But until then, let's watch the video. I'll be back.
If you're really going to be a then you should be a true to not use anything or be involved with anything that was invented or created by blacks. Do you want a list? Ironing board, the refrigerator, the baby carriage, the shoemaking machines, traffic signal, the incandescent light bulb, the folding bed, the mailbox, air conditioning, elevator. Do you want me to go on?
Why is everybody so surprised when they find out that a black person invented something?
Oh, a little statistic I read the other day.
Tell me.
A black kid invented the doorknob. Did you know that?
Google it.
That guy. That guy invented the door fucking knob, dude.
What the hell were they doing before?
They were difficult to open. I mean, but he made it, and he made no money off of it. He just, people just stole it from him. Like, I could have thought of that. And just took it from him. That guy invented the, Osmond Dorsey fucking credit to him.
Doorknob.
It's almost like they could never see it. But that also makes me think of why black history is so important, because they think all we do is shoot basketballs and catch footballs. But no, way back, 1800s, 1900s, even the 1700s, black people weren't all slaves. Black people weren't all poor. We did everything, okay? So I think it's weird that even today in 2025, we still see black people as like this subhuman group that like barely invented the wheel or something. No, black Americans been out here in these streets inventing stuff. Just like this brother right here, Osborne Dorsey, who invented the doorknob and got the patent in 1878. You get what I'm saying? So shout out to him and his relatives that are still here. But no, black Americans been out here in these streets. You can just look up the millions and millions of things that we had our hands on.
You said which culture? First of all, you wouldn't even be able to type what you type in without a black American, because we invented cell phones. I'm so over everybody making it seem like we don't have culture. We literally created this country. Do y'all know that we were here before the United States of America was formed as an actual country? We built all this shit. We invented all this shit. And I'm going to start a series about all of the things that black American people invented, because you motherfuckers don't even realize a lot of the things that you have and that you partake in your country was created by us. It was stolen. It was pillaged, renamed, reclassified. We are the very fabric of America. Which culture? Bitch, you wouldn't be able to fucking talk on a motherfucking cell phone if it wasn't for black American culture. Spread love, it's the Brooklyn way.
One began as a slave. That's not what God put you here for.
If you know anything about the history of slavery, that's the first thing that they did. They beat your history and your native tongue out of you. And what's amazing about America, even the state of Texas, the school board is now expunging slavery out of the books, so they won't have to be held accountable for what they did.
It's going to be difficult for people to prove intellectual inferiority. That's why even in our textbooks in school, they don't like to teach our children about black inventions. Because even greater than our African history are our American inventions. Because from nowhere, you're coming up with things that revolutionize the American social and economic order.
Well, basically, there is a proverb that says that the only thing that peoples of European descent ever created was the patent office, because they stole everybody else's ideas and put their name on it.
During slavery, because you were the property of your master, a lot of what we invented was automatically given credit to the master. The credit was forwarded to the master because we was property. We weren't allowed to take fame or notoriety for the things we created.
Anything that made work easier. Why would white people want to invent something that make work easier when they have black folks to do it?
You have a huge incentive to try to get things to move smoothly, so that you don't get any more lashes. Or somebody doesn't now have to sell someone else in your family. There was a lot of incentive to create inventions.
And that's another thing. Most of our black inventors had to deal with idea theft. White folks would come in and say, we did it first because we didn't necessarily know the process or have the money to patent our inventions. So white folk will find out what a black person invented and go do it real fast and get their application in, because back then the process wasn't as thorough as it is now. Whoever got their application in first to the patent office, that's who got the patent. So we got thousands of inventions by black people. We'll never even know it because
of the fact that they were stolen.
They don't want anyone to know that we invented things. So if it wasn't for black people, white people couldn't take a dump. A black man invented the toilet, and he just made it white on purpose.
A slave by the name of Black Sam, Eli Whitney's slave, created the idea for the cotton gin, and his master took it and patented in his own name. How could he do that with no benefit of books? He wasn't even allowed to learn.
A lot of people assume just because African slaves were illiterate, they were ignorant. And there's a real big difference, because African people, they had a very elaborate language or elaborate languages over in Africa. When Africans were brought over here, they were taught a bastardized version of English, and they weren't even allowed to see the language written down. And they were taught the language by lower class Europeans who were living in the South. So even though there was that major obstacle, blacks still did phenomenal things. Thomas Edison was known for stealing people's inventions. He was known for taking the inventions of a few African-American inventors. Lewis Latimer, Granville T. Woods actually went to court with Thomas Edison, and Granville T. Woods actually won his case.
Thomas Edison tried to bring Granville T. Woods to court on that invention. And I just saw a commercial for Mazda, I believe, cars, where they said, here's a man holding 1,000 patents. Well, 90% of them he stole.
Alexander Graham Bell and Thomas Edison, who are probably considered America's two greatest inventors of all time. But guess who was designing their blueprints for the patent application? A black man. Now let's think about this for a minute. If you invent something, why do you need me to do the blueprints for the patent application? If it's your idea, how in the hell can I do the blueprints for it? You can't do the blueprints for my idea. I have to do them. So if Latimer is doing the blueprints, if he is your chief draftsman and he's doing your blueprints for your patent application, Alexander Graham Bell, did you invent the telephone, or did Lewis Latimer invent the telephone?
Thomas Edison had a whole troop of people that was in his sweatshop, and depending on the invention, he would hand it over to that particular department and tell them, see what it is that does, and then do something a little different, and we'll patent that. And when he took Granville T. Woods' information and tried to make it his own, the court said no.
The watermelon and black people stereotype, that came and that was popularized by Thomas Edison. Around 1890, Thomas Edison put together this Nickelodeon reel, and there were these African-American men who were joking around, shucking and jiving, and kind of mugging for the camera, and they were eating watermelon. And Edison filmed this, put this out, and the general public saw this, and they said, okay, African-American people must really love watermelon. And right after that film came out, thousands of postcards and all types of memorabilia flooded the market of African-American people eating watermelon. So that watermelon stereotype was popularized by Thomas Edison.
A lot of people don't know there's an African-American male who is significant, has patents on the first major computer chips that made computers operate.
Other inventors that we don't know about, essentially, who they call the father of the internet, was Philip Emeagwali, a Nigerian man who essentially created the connection for quantum bits of information so that multiple computers could actually communicate with one another.
During slavery, and this is well documented by white people, many of the masters, when they were sick, did not call for the physician. They called for the big mama on the plantation, and she would come with her medicine bag that didn't have alcohol and rum. It had all types of things that she made from the herbs that she had planted. Some of them said, I don't want the doctor. Bring me the witch doctor, that voodoo woman who I own.
Africans took what they brought from Africa, which would be a ground hockey, and all they did apply the game to ice.
When the British were fighting the United States, there were African slaves or former slaves assisting the British in fighting the U.S. When the U.S. won and the Britons lost, many of the African Americans were sent to British colonies in West Africa, and many of the African Americans were sent into Nova Scotia, Canada, and they formed what we now know as hockey. They started to play this new game called hockey, which was something that Africans were doing in Africa. In ancient Kemet, there was a form of field hockey that they were playing, and they went into Canada and they created what we now know as hockey, and there were actually black Canadian hockey teams in the early sport of hockey that a lot of people don't know about. And there's a great book about that called Black Ice that talks about the early inventors of hockey who were men.
All right, racists, let's talk about the part of history you like to tout the most. Black inventions. And along with those inventions comes the receipts. Racist America has pretended for far too long that black people haven't created or invented most things, if not every single thing we use daily. They like to pretend that the toolbox of life just appeared out of nowhere, or that it was gifted by some default white guy. Then they act shocked every single time a black indigenous American shows up in the patent record. This pattern in history of gaslighting and erasure ends now. So why don't we break the spell with a hit list of under-referenced black American inventors, whose work you touch, hear, and rely on every single day, whether you say their names or not. This is what I call the not-so-familiar list. James E. West co-invented the electret microphone in 1962. That tiny capsule in smartphones, laptops, hearing aids, and almost every modern mic, brought to you by a black man, James West. George Edward Alcorn Jr. built the imaging X-ray spectrometer in 1984 that sharpened space and materials research. NASA named him Inventor of the Year. Translation, he built the instruments that actually see what the naked eye can't. Black brilliance. Meredith Gourdine pioneered electro-gas dynamics, devices like incinerate cut smoke and industrial pollution. He engineered the actual physics. David N. Crosswaite Jr., architect of modern HVAC controls for big buildings. He has 39 U.S. patents, some of which include heating systems for Radio City Music Hall as well as Rockefeller Center. So when you visit these places, your climate comfort is running on David's math. Walter Lincoln Hawkins created durable polymer cable sheathing so telephone lines could survive the sun and harsh weather. Otis Boykin designed precision resistors that stabilized consumer electronics and pacemaker controls. George Carruthers invented the far ultraviolet camera / spectrograph used on Apollo 16 to image Earth's atmosphere and interstellar space. When science looked farther, it used George's instrument. Jerry Lawson led the team behind the interchangeable video game cartridge, the truest pioneer to console gaming. Jesse Russell was the key architect of digital cellular systems and base station tech. He laid the groundwork for the networks that your phone lives on. Marion Croak is the holder of 200+ patents in voice over IP and internet call tech. So as far as internet calling as a service, she operationalized the pipeline. Valerie Thomas, the pioneer behind the Illusion Transmitter 3D image tech at NASA. Bessie Blount Griffin, inventor of the self-feeding device used for amputees and a disposable emesis basin. It's a clinical design that restored autonomy to its users in this country. Then it spread internationally. Alice H. Parker created the 1919 patent for a gas-fired, centrally zoned heating furnace. She also planted the seed ideas for modern home heating segmentation. Miriam E. Benjamin, in 1888, created the gong and signal chair, a call button system predating hotel service alerts. The start of push to summon was formulated by her genius. Andrew J. Beard invented the Jenny coupler in 1897, which is an automated dangerous link and pin rail coupling. His work improved freight efficiency and worker safety. Philip B. Downing created the street letterbox in 1891 with a weather shielding door for mail drop-off. Yes, a black man created the mailbox. John Stannard, in 1891, he invented the non-electric refrigerator and compact oil stove, the pioneer of non-electric appliances. Richard B. Spikes, he iterated the automatic gear shift and most automotive safety systems. Lloyd Hall, he advanced food preservation, using safer curing salts, using spice sterilization, and antioxidants. He created the industry-level shelf life. So what was the point to all of this? Reality reads like this list. Black Americans were already here, already building, and already creating everything. Designing the microphones inside your phone, the networks under your techs, the heat in your building, the optics in your space science, the cartridges that built an entire gaming industry, the clinical tools that dignify autonomous care, and the dull metal boxes swallowing your mail on the corner. Erasing the creativity and the genius of the original people isn't accidental. It's an act of violence. You can keep pretending you invented everything, sure. Or you can look around, call things what they are, and stop living on lies. Pretending to be superior in technology and a spiritual power you can't even use. The entire world can see the limitations of racists. The big question is, however, why can't you?
Right here, who invented the telephone, the light bulb, the alphabet, the horse bit, the horse rides, toilet commode? You know a black man invented toilet commode. You know why he made it white? Air conditioning unit, helicopter, ice cream, guitar, traffic signal, medicine, cell phone.
Yeah, that's what I put up.
Do you know what a black man invented cell phone? GPS.
Yeah, that's a black woman.
Oh man, that's history. Where's she from?
Where's she from, man?
Oh, damn GPS. No.
She from Texas, then?
She's from Texas.
Oh, okay.
Hidden Biggers. She worked in NASA. She passed away about a month. And who invented the airplane?
Not the Russell brother. It was another group of brothers. It was another group of brothers out of Cleveland, right? Best. Her name?
No.
No.
Charles Page.
Page.
He's from Louisiana.
Okay.
He invented the airship. He invented the airship. He called it airship. He was taking it from New Orleans or Louisiana to St. Louis to the fair. He was going to show it off. Somebody took it off the train. Took it off the train. They say they were. They took it to the He got credit for the patent. He didn't get credit for the airplane.
Charles Page.
Charles Page.
GPS is a black woman. Well, 3D imaging is a black woman. Laser eye surgery is a black woman. Escalators a black inventor. Elevators a black inventor. The roller coaster is Granville T. Woods. Roller coaster, everything.
The cell phone.
The cell phone. I was just watching the thing on the cell phone. Our video games is Jerry Lawson in Silicon Valley. They try not to mention him, but he's the reason why we have Xbox, Atari. He did the first, before Atari, the F1 series. Jerry Lawson, a black dude who invented home videos, sanitary napkins. It's a woman. Our ADT, our security system, is a black woman in Queens, Mary Van Brighton. In 1966, she invented the home security. You're talking about open heart surgery, Daniel Hale. Plasma, Charles Drew. We can keep going. Surgical equipment, black people inventing, just constantly inventing, and they took everything and lied. But now things are coming into the light with all these black inventors. And black people are still thriving. Black women have the highest degrees in America.
Here in front of me, called Our Skin, that has been endorsed by NACI. And I'm going to read exactly what this book says. You guys might find it interesting. A long time ago, way before you were born, a group of white people made up an idea called race. They sorted people by skin color and said that white people were better, smarter, prettier, and they deserved more than everybody else. This would be taught if we socialize our pre-K system. This would be taught.
Do you disagree with that findings in the book?
1,000%. How about we teach Jesus loves me? How about this? In teaching Jesus loves the little children, the lyrics go, red and yellow, black and white, they're all precious in our sight. Now, which one would you think would be better? I'll ask everybody on the panel, which is better to teach? This, that is a story that was made up to teach our kids, 3-year-olds who have no idea what race is, now all of a sudden is being taught that white people said this as a truth. Someone point at me that this being a truth, that white people developed race, that white people developed that all of a sudden that was our word that we developed. By the way, I'm Cherokee, Native American. I think we have experienced a little bit of racism before in my life, Chairman.
Senator Mullen.
So I ask everybody on the panel, which one is better to teach? This or the Jesus Loves Me lyrics? Ma'am, I'll start down here. Just tell me which one. I don't have time for an
What I'll tell you, Senator Mullen, is that what children in these early years develop their identity. It's important that our classrooms are.
I'm just asking which one is better.
Let her answer the question, please.
My question is this.
She will answer it if she sees fit.
Which one is better?
It's important that children's identity and language and culture are recognized.
That's not answering my question.
And that's what creates strong executive function.
If you don't want to answer my question, that's fine. Let's move on down the panel. Which was exactly, that's exactly what it is.
Got it on tape.
Misspoke. So What I'm saying is which one is which? Which one is better to be taught, Mr. Chairman? Is it this, or is it the Jesus?
Is your question directed to me or Ms. Woman?
Well, you keep interrupting me, saying they're not asking the question.
Want to ask
and I
the
wish
question?
you'd really stay out of the
No.
questions.
It's his question. He gets to dictate it.
Which
Not
one?
dictated. Ask the question.
Which one?
Talking to Ms. Woman, right?
Yes.
As I stated, Jesus is always first.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Shelters and housing structured over 800,000 years ago in the Near East. Before this, our ancestors used natural shelters or portable structures they could disassemble and move around with ease. By the time Europeans came, they were building multi-story complexes with glass windows and balconies. Black people invented everything. Get the book. The link is here.
I did not know anything about black women inventors, but I do now. Marie Van Britten Brown invented the home security system because in 1966, she was like, I live in America. Alice Ball cured leprosy. Then a white man took the credit. Of course, Dr. Patricia Bath invented a laser tool to remove cataracts. She was also the first black female physician to receive a medical patent. Mary Beatrice Davidson Kenner invented the sanitary belt, which later became the pad, and companies literally rejected her because she was black. Marjorie Joyner made the permanent wave machine. It helped black women, it helped white women, and then it helped the world. Did she get rich? Absolutely not. Sarah Boone created the modern ironing board. She was born enslaved, and before Sarah, people only used planks. Valerie Thomas invented a 3D illusion transmitter. It's used for medical imaging and television. She worked at NASA, and they still use her technology today. Dr. Shirley Jackson worked on caller ID, call waiting, and touch tone phones, so you could ignore people more efficiently. She was also the first black woman to earn a doctorate from MIT. Sarah Good invented the fold-out bed. It used to transform into a desk. She was the first African-American woman to receive a U.S. patent. Marion Croak developed voice-over internet protocol. She literally made the internet talk. She holds 200 patents, and I hold grudges.
But you know what kills me about Black History Month is all our great creators created stuff, white man always found a way to top it. That's what killed me. Like a brother invented the light bulb, white man invented the electric bill. Brother invented the stoplight, police invented the traffic ticket. Ain't Brother create a baby, white man create child support court.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching this video from. As you know, I'm your host and presenter Eugene Tech Stories. Now, it's funny and it's crazy that they all did this to hide the truth, to hide the real greatness of black people, because they know very well that black people did great things. The reason as to why I shared this video, it's because I wanted to create an awareness to all those black people that usually have low self-esteem about them generally, because when they hear about black people, they start to tremble because they know the next thing that comes from the mouths of all these people is negative things. But the main purpose of this video was to shed light to you as a black person, to realize what you're capable of, even today as a black person, because the world is full of limitless opportunity. So there's still room for inventions, there's still room of winnings that black people can and still will win. Black people are still winning as best actor movies, and they're still taking the throne, right? They're leading the way, they're showing the truth, they're shedding the light towards things that black people never thought that it will be about them. So all of these things was to create an awareness and to make sure that any black kid who is going to school, any black person who has lived with a negative stereotype about black people, to know that black people, that black is greatness. Because without greatness, you cannot have anything new. And black people made it possible, made it sure that everything happened in accordance to how they wanted it to happen. And so, brothers and sisters, please just let me know what you'll think about this. I just want to know your opinion in regards to, how you feel about this, what you want to say or what you know about this, right? I just want to know your opinion in regards to this, right? So, It's really crazy. Okay, let me look at a few comments in regards to what people said in regards to this. The patent was literally invented so they could legally sell intellectual properties. Also, George Carver was way more than the disrespectful peanut title he has been given. The man was known as the plant doctor at the age of 7, introduced crop rotation, which is why we can have grocery stores now. He stopped the dust bowl by showing farmers if you plant plants rich in nitrogen, for example, peanuts, to revitalize the soil. He even went to the continent of Asia to teach them about the soybeans, sweet potatoes, and he has thousands of inventions that are patented. This man was legendary, right? At the same time, when the truth is told to our melanated youth, can now truly know that they matter, that they are enough, that they are people of contributed to the great innovation, true, past and present, and they are the great lineage who created and created amazing things. So never quit regardless of what others think. Exactly, that was my point. To create awareness to young people, to think positive about black people, think positive about what black people have ever done. Right. There's a poem. I think it's a poem that I want to read it to you, that somebody shared. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerless beyond measure. It is light, not our darkness, that most frighten us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. You are playing small, does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. That's Marianne Williamson. I think it's a short poem that he wants us to share with us. Somebody said that if white people spent more time paying attention to what their own people, maybe they couldn't have invented something, but they're too busy watching black people and colonizing their inventions and culture. Maybe if they actually had to do some real work, they would have been invented something. There is no need for you to invent anything when you're making slaves do it. And you colonizing like they do everything else, you think about that. So tell me what you think about this, brothers and sisters. Right? As you know, I'm your host and presenter Ejirek Stories, but until then, let me see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.